Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Olu Martins says some people determined to drag Asue Ighodalo for whatever reason. Make I leave you, make you hear from Olu Martins.
Okay, so guys, I just came back from church. Today is Sunday, the 7th, of September. And I quickly thought I should do this video just before I get to undress and before I fall asleep. It's been a pretty long weekend for me. I've been preaching for a friend of mine for maybe 2 days back to back, and then I still had to prepare for Sunday service and all of that. So I've not really had the time to look at the internet, but I did have the time to look at the internet. I saw a couple of responses that our friend who is determined whatsoever to drag Dr. Asue Ighodalo for whatever reason. I really don't know, because we're making a mountain out of a molehill. We're making an issue out of a non-issue. Some people have said it's because of views, it's because of traction. I don't care. For me, it's okay. Everybody knows how he makes his own money, but there's got to be a balance, because in all of what we do, whether you call it entertainment and information, there's infotainment. There are young people who are looking at it. There's a generation that we're trying to raise. There's a breed that we're addressing. There are young people whom we are trying to show virtues, because life is about virtues. The virtues and the values that you display in life will form the building blocks of tomorrow. I'm not sure that there's any parent amongst us now who probably will have a brush off with another child, and you're asking the child, go and beat the child back, all right? Go and beat the child back. So those are some of the, those are some of the things that we consider when we take our inactions or our inactions. Because I've seen him do display what Vladimir Putin did, what Donald Trump did, a bishop ignoring another bishop. If you look generally at life, because this is one of the privileges of opening the shutters of your mind to a wide range of information, not to an information that suits your narrative, but to a wide range of information, and look at what is common among all of them. And the preponderance of opinion is that it is weak people that demonstrate emotions, especially negative, whatever emotions, in front of the adversary. Generally speaking, even when you are excited, you're not supposed to be too excited. And when you are happy, you're not supposed to show it too much. When you're angry, you're not supposed to show it too much. The man who is able to contain his spirit, a man who is able to rule over his spirit, a man who is able to control himself, is stronger than a man with AK-47. But a man who is constantly emotional is like an unstable volcano. You just have to demonstrate all the time how you feel. That person is not a stable leader, because if you read books on leadership, what is common among all of them is to overlook the weakness of your adversary. That's what is common among all of them. This is the advantage of, like I said, opening your mind to several plethora of information. You're opening the shutters of your mind to several books. And I can tell, for instance, for the purpose of education and also educating him too, that we have had research of over 300 leaders, including Dag Hewlett-Packard, including Francis Bacon, including Theodore Roosevelt, Eleanor Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and all of them. Those are the kind of people that you find when people talk about leadership, because leadership is a virtue and value. It's not about your ability to be dictatorial or your ability to be stiff and harsh. It's about virtues and values. Virtues and values. And even if you go to how the mafias operate, like I said, it's important to be a reader. Because if you're not a reader, you're going to consistently look at isolated cases of Vladimir Putin, isolated cases of Donald Trump. There's no proper book on leadership that you read that will amplify the things that Donald Trump does. There's no proper leadership or a book on leadership that you read, whether you are reading from John Mason or acclaimed leaders like John Maxwell on leadership. They will hardly ever refer to the likes of what is his name again, Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump, because those are extreme leaders. They're not the kind of examples that build society. They're not the kinds of example that you will say are noble leaders. So let me do a little bit of education. You need to read Mario Puzo's book, The Last Dawn. Mario Puzo wrote the book The Last Dawn. Oh no, Godfathers. I think he wrote the book, Godfathers. And it was even acted. If you have ever watched Godfathers, because this education is important for everybody. There was Godfathers, one of God's father's youngest child, perhaps his youngest child, who read biology. I'm sure a lot of us have watched the movie. Was killed, and he was suspected to have been killed by a rival family. At this time, the Godfather himself was the Akapon de Tutikapi. And when the boy was to be buried, the family that was suspected to have killed him attended the burial. Giorgio, the first son of the Godfather, wanted to take revenge at the burial on the spot when they came for the burial of the lastborn that they suspected the family had killed. And his father literally slapped him on the cheek and told him, that's not how mafians operate. If you want to see a real strong man, they shout, they display emotions. You're not going to say, I go slap you. He doesn't even show you that he is angry. He will kiss you on this cheek. He'll kiss you on this cheek. He will hug you. Oh, my brother. He will hug you. He will give you food to eat. But he will still arrange that they should buy you a few days later. That's how real leader, because leadership runs deep. It's not this effervescent, emotional, loquacious, bullish leadership. That's not leadership. They only last for a while. They don't last for a generation. And they are hardly ever referred to. And that's why I would always also advise, go and read V. Because me, the problem about trying to engage somebody like me is that I'm a reader. I read plenty of things. I'm not going to take a one-off case and use it for engagement. I've read a couple of issues on leadership. Go and read V, the Mafia manager. And the Mafia manager will always tell you that you must always defer anger. You must always defer your emotions. It is immature people who display their emotions at the spur of the moment. Real, capable leaders always defer their anger to another day. Because when you defer your anger, if you learn to control your anger and defer it to another day, you are more calculative. You are more circumspect. You come with stilts. You are more unpredictable. You are less predictable. But if you are the person that is always showing your adversaries, I'm not happy with you, they extend a handshake. Take for instance, somebody is referencing Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he bypassed the governor of Lagos State. For me, I think that's not the kind of leadership that I want to see. Because what is firmness? Firmness is consistency. I can shake your hands. I can relate with you in public, but I'll still do whatever it is I want to do. If I want to mess you up, I will still mess you up. But for the purpose of those who are looking at me, so that people do not think that we take emotions to the extreme, I may express myself to you in a positive manner, all right, so that people can know that this is how leaders should be. It's about leadership, sir. It's not about followership. So all of this emotional display, like I always do ask, what should Dr. Asha should have done? Bone him. That's weakness. If you display emotions in public, it's weakness. You are weak. Even Bible says a man who has no control over his spirit is like a city without walls. You don't display the emotions there. You allow the thing. Revenge is a meal served cold. So I'm between Asue and Oshomole. The weak man was Oshomole. The strong man was Asue, because Oshomole was trying to demonstrate that no love lost. I don't want to discuss about him because I don't like to discuss, too mouth talking. If I wanted to have a role model for my child, it certainly will not be Oshomole. I know even those who hail Oshomole, if they want a role model for their child, it will not be Oshomole. They hail him because they need him to sustain themselves in office. They need him for their political ascendancy and their political prominence, unfortunately, because we run a political system that is not so progressive. Dark shadows like, the comrade senator will be needed because we don't have rules that work based on values and virtues. Otherwise, he will have no place in proper democracies and in proper, leadership. So let me advise, my friend, that he has quoted isolated cases of people who through weakness of character, ignore their enemies in public. What would Barack Obama have done? Those are the kind of leaders that the nation, talks about. What will Bill Clinton have done? And I can assure you that the likes of Bill Clinton, especially Democrats, the likes of Democrats who are more serene in their approach to leadership, will not avoid anybody in public because the young are watching. Maybe it will be a good way to end by using Hebrews chapter 12. After all, it's a Sunday, and Hebrews is saying that we are being compassed by so great a cloud of witnesses. Let us lay aside. When young people are looking at you and you're trying to raise a breed without greed, you are less emotional. So I would advise my brother today, you should be less emotional. When you are very emotional, you are predictable. We just seem to know that, what, this matters, so Albert must put mouth. It makes him predictable. Albert must. But what makes a leader? What makes leader? What makes strategy is the fact that you're not predictable. They don't see you come. When they say you go talk, you don't talk. You just bone. When they say you go vex, you don't vex. You just bone. That's when I was growing up. Papa and mama say the day we Pikin break mortar, not be that day that they beat her. You will just allow him pass. People say don't do anything. The day you go break plate that day, now you go beat him. Join the mortar where we break and the plate where you break. So Dr. Asue, I hail you again for your maturity. I hail you for your dexterity. I hail you for your disposition. The last I checked, I was spokesperson of the Asue Ighodalo Campaign Council, and I can still find myself speaking for him, which I am doing. We will not we will not pull down our legacies because the man he's one of our icons as far as we are concerned. Even when we differ with him, we go privately to express our differences with him. But we're not going to come in public and can't pull out our enemy, pull down our friends, pull down, everybody just for visibility, for what? It's not necessary. It's not necessary. We will not do that. We will ensure that the things that we need to speak privately, we will speak them privately. The things we need to speak publicly, we will speak them publicly. But if we have some of our icons, some of the people who have done absolutely well for themselves and absolutely well for society, and we see people trying to pull them down, we're not going to allow, a PhD. The only PhD is an academic PhD. But the pull him down syndrome is something we're going to consistently tackle. Not because we don't like somebody, but because life is about values, life is about virtues. And one of such virtues is that you cannot allow, even if you have a wounded soldier, you must first of all see what you can do about the wounded soldier. In this case, Aswe didn't do anything, and I maintain that he did the proper thing as a gentleman. He did the proper thing as an educator. He did the proper thing as a visionary. He did the proper thing as a leader per status quo. The actions of leaders is not in the present. The actions of leaders is in the future, long after we are gone. And if you are a reader, you will find out that the people that society talks about are those who are noble in leadership. Take Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was not a brutal leader, but he was consistent and was able to bring down the walls of oppression and suppression in the days of racism and segregation. What about Dr. Nelson Mandela? When he died, DSTV dedicated a station for him. Dr. Nelson Mandela was incarcerated for 27 years, the whole 27 years of his life. And by the time he came out of prison, he embraced his enemy. It's not weak people think that you must constantly demonstrate emotions for those who hurt you. Because the truth of the matter is that if somebody hurts you now, he's not hurting you except you hold him in your mind. And you can take actions against somebody and still strategize against him while still kissing him on both sides of the cheek. It's called the Mafia arrangement. And that is your capability and capacity to defer anger so that you can strategize. Anybody who takes action inside anger, inside too much emotion, either inside too much happiness or inside anger, would always make mistake. This is my humble logomaki, and my logomaki this beautiful Sunday afternoon is without logo, partial.
Now we don't hear from Olu Martins. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share them. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.